back, everybody. This is
and
the Blowfish with part 3 of the corrections talk. We're just kind of giving the ins and outs of everything going on in corrections, kind of some history of what we've been through personally, and some other things that we've seen, watched, and heard about.
Testaments about.
Right.
Like we said before we even started this video, this is probably one of the first real serious conversations we've ever had on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because this is
it's just something that's really close to our hearts, and something that we really feel, and we've talked about for years, but we feel that we really need to get out there. It needs to be focused on.
Yeah, I believe that we could learn a lot from just other states, not even other countries, man. Like you look at other states, and their turnaround rate's ridiculously low compared to ours, and I feel like that's big revenue for Louisiana. But we could be making more revenue by actually taking these guys and making them actual productive members of society.
Right.
Giving them something to do when they get out. Instead of like, okay, yeah, here you're out, go back to slinging drugs, or, they do what you know, because we ain't going to do nothing.
As correctional officers, like we said before, it's our job to make sure that they are stable, and, some facilities give them the option of getting some kind of trade, whether it be carpentry, welding,
or GED program,
yeah.
college courses. I've heard of other places actually offering, like they can go, they have a computer lab, they go in there and take, just like me or you could, and do an actual computer class for a college course. And it's just so sad.
That's beautiful.
I mean, it really is, yeah, because if you look at all the facilities we have around here, like, they are very limited in what they can do.
Oh,
The only thing I know for sure that they could do, that they said that they did up there, was GED. Mm-hmm. That is literally the only thing that I ever saw that we got.
And that was rare. Like, they called them out once or twice every couple of weeks or some shit. And
you might have like 20 dudes at the beginning of that year for the class, and then you might have 3 that actually finish it.
Well,
you might, and you're lucky if it's 3. Which it finally did start picking up, but it's just because more and more kids started coming in there, more 17-year-olds,
younger guys,
18-year-olds. Like there was a cat in there that I was picking with one day because he looked young. I was like, man, you look like you're too young to be here, and he was like, man, calm down, sorry, don't tell everybody. And I was like, how old are you?
Yeah, got facial hair.
Yeah, like he didn't have facial hair. It was like he looked like he was fresh ass 18. He was 17. He just turned 17.
Yeah.
Got trialed as an adult.
Yep.
And he was actually a nice kid, but got caught up doing some dumb shit.
My little cousin done that. He went in at 17. The bad thing is it happened because he got hit with 2 charges. But one of the charges happened when he was 16. The other happened when he was 17.
And they ran concurrent.
Yeah, and they ran concurrent.
And charged him as an adult. Yep, it happens.
Yep, it happens.
It's still in. Yeah.
And the bad part about it is,
I'm going to go. I don't pick the kids, but we still got like a good 10, 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, the bad part about it is all that was going down. He had him and one of his buddies were they lived in a little trailer park, and one of his buddies pulled up on a four-wheeler and was like, you want to go ride? We live in the country. Somebody pulls up on a four-wheeler, you don't think 2 things about it. You're just like, hey, let's go ride. Yeah, let's go riding.
It's boring.
Yeah,
You live in the country.
or something.
Yeah,
so
yee. Mm-hmm. That's when my country comes out.
So they go riding, and they end up running over a wildlife and fishery sign. Okay, run over a wildlife fishery sign. That's when he was 16. Okay.
That's felony.
Yeah. This is a couple days before he turned 17. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So that happened. They got in trouble for that. He didn't go to jail. They just give him tickets and all that kind of stuff. And then a couple days later, they ended up catching the guy that had the four-wheeler. And he said he got it from a cousin and all this kind of stuff, and the four-wheeler had been stolen.
Oh.
And
so they threw him on the bus.
Right, basically, and the fact that they were on it when they hit the sign.
Didn't help him.
Yeah, that they were on the four-wheeler when they hit the sign.
They believed the guy's case.
Exactly.
Didn't even listen.
And it come down to it. And
how much time did he serve over that?
Right at like a year and a half.
But see, that's
but he's fucking a felon for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and
he was 17 years old.
And now he has to live with that stigmata for the rest of his life.
Every time you do it, and that gives so much damper on getting a job. That gives so much bullshit on getting pretty much anything.
Going to work at Walmart.
Yeah.
Like you can't even depend on your crime. If it was a violent crime, you're definitely not getting a job anywhere.
In most places nowadays, they're going to take, even if you've got, say, 10 years experience and a felony, they're going to take a guy with no experience and no felony over you.
Because you have a felony.
Because you have a felony. Because you're.
And it could have been something like that. You could have run over a wildlife. It could have even been something serious.
Exactly.
You could have served like a year in jail. But you got a felony.
Yep.
And
you're forever stuck with that stigma.
Yeah, that's just that cross they put on your back. You know, the A on your chest. What do you want to call it?
Especially in small towns.
Oh God, yes, it's bad.
You get that stuck on you one time, and that's a wrap. I mean, they're never gonna not look at you. If you went to a local facility and they know that the guards around your area know that you've been to that facility and have guarded you and everything, that little bit of bullshit on your back is going to stop you from prospering in your town. You have to move off. You have to go somewhere else. Or go work far off.
In another country or something.
Yeah.
There was a guy, I know you remember him. I won't say his name, but I know you remember him. Tall guy, loved anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, worked on Avenue, yeah. Alright.
Hey, he's out.
Oh, no shit!
I got him on Facebook. Yeah.
What's up, buddy? You know who we're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, it turns out good friends with him. He had him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Been talking to him right here. Yeah. Love that guy, man.
Me too,
He was
dude,
cool as shit.
That's my dude. I talked to him 2 or 3 days ago. He's in
Peru, right?
No, he's in like
he's in another country.
Yeah. He's like Santa Fe or Santa Bar or some like
he's way the hell
like
off.
on the beach.
Yeah, like he's living the life right now.
Yeah.
But one of the
smart
things,
guy.
One of the things though is since he has a felony and he can't work here, he was forced to go overseas.
Yeah.
But he was lucky enough that he had a job that even if you have experience and have a felony, they're still going to pick you just because you have the experience.
Right.
He didn't need to see dives.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, what I found out the other day because told me about it, and
he said I seen the thing on Facebook. He went diving like 2 days ago.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. It blows my mind, you know. But like that, also in the same turn, it's like the guy wasn't really in there for a bad thing. It was just some bullshit felony that he got.
But he also, thank God, he had access to a computer.
Mm-hmm. Because he was able to get himself off.
Yeah, he had access to a computer. So he learned a lot. Like he's not
That's
dumb by no means.
No, he's very intelligent.
Smart. Yeah.
I loved having a conversation with him every day, just because it could actually have a conversation.
I'm gonna tag him in these videos.
Man, you should. Yeah. He's definitely somebody I would like to sit down with and talk about about all this with.
For sure.
Any of the other cats that have added myself or him on Facebook, and you remember us back from the CO days, and you would like to reach out to us and do an interview, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah.
We'll try to come to you if you can't come to us, and we would love to have you on the show.
We'll get you on the phone, and you can just kind of talk to us about
It
everything.
can be private, or we can let everybody know who you are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We just kind of want to get some other feedback here, some other perspectives.
Yeah.
And it's because we can only know, we say we know both sides of the fence, but we really only know one side.
Yeah.
And to truly know the other side, you have to actually get with somebody who's willing to talk about
who's
the other
lived
side.
in there.
Who's lived the other side of the fence. And is also willing, like I said, willing to talk about it.
Right.
Because a lot of people that I know of that I'm still friends with, they don't like talking about it.
No, they want her to leave that in the past.
They don't want to remember it, just because sometimes it's that bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes not everybody had I'm not saying
easy Joe.
Yeah, I guess you can put it that way. Yeah, an easy time. Most people have a hard time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you see people like that, and we are friends with some of the people that we've CO'd over and all that kind of stuff because they're genuinely good people. They would stick their neck out for you strictly because you wasn't a dick. You wasn't mean to them. Yeah, you was respectful. You came in not trying to bump chest.
You treated him like a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You treated them like a person and not like an inmate.
Not a jumper or a number.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guards out there, and I'm not sticking it to one facility, but there's a lot of guards out there that come in and they play that super cop mode, and
you're just a number to them.
Yeah.
That's all you'll ever be. Don't matter what you did, who you did it to, or
yeah, you're right.
What the circumstances are. You're just always going to be Joe Blow, inmate 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And there's people that come in with, like you were talking about, with very minimum charge. They're just in there maybe for a 90-day turnaround. It don't matter if you're a serial killer. It don't matter if you got some traffic tickets you ain't paid or whatever. The fact is, some of them guards up there look at you all the same.
Yeah. They don't care.
And I, to an aspect, or to an extent, I understand that. Because you're not trying to show any favoritism. You're just trying to treat everybody the same and all that. But everybody should be treated with respect. I'm not God. But there's a lot of guards up there
that cast judgment.
Yeah.
That's not our place.
No.
That's fine.
Our job is to make sure you don't leave.
You're
You
safe.
spend your time. You're safe. you're fed, you're clothed, you're housed, and you go back out into society when your time is over and you can cope.
It's funny that you should say that about the serial killer. I actually had a lot of conversations with a killer. He wasn't a serial killer, but he was a killer, like cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Of course, can't say any names for legal reasons, but he stayed in the cell. The first 4 years I worked there, I saw him every day, and I had to have a conversation with him because I was the one that went there and made sure his cell was clean and all this different crap because the sergeant was too lazy to do it.
Right.
And, you know, shit goes downhill. But it's just amazing because the first time I ever talked to this guy, I never would have picked him for a killer. Never.
Right. Well,
You know, and like, it was cold-blooded.
yeah.
Like, I will talk about his crime because not a lot of people probably even remember him that ever see this.
Right.
But he used to be a sergeant at a correctional facility. That was the biggest kicker. So that's why I thought he was in there, is because he was a CEO.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Was he in PC or in a dorm?
He was in PC.
Okay.
He was in a lockdown cell. But he'll be the first one to tell you he didn't choose that. He wanted to be popular.
Right.
He was going crazy.
Oh, I'd imagine.
But he actually hacked up his wife and had her stuck in his freezer for like 3 or 4 years before anybody knew what the fuck was going on. And he was a sergeant in like Angola. Real story. Real story.
Oh,
Real
my
shit.
God.
And the guy was super intelligent, like super smart. He told me how to do my job before I knew how to do my job. Like that's like he would be like, yeah, you gotta do this, this, and this, and I'd be like, oh, well, thanks, man. And he'd be like, yeah, no problem, no problem. He was real nice always, though. The only thing he ever freaked out about was he didn't want to see he couldn't eat nothing bread. I asked him about it one day. I was like, man, why do you? It was kind of a dumb question because after I asked him, like, I kind of regretted it. Immediately, yeah. Stick foot in mouth. I really didn't wish I wouldn't have asked him that. He was like, because yeah, every time I see red, I think of my wife's blood all over the floor. Telling you, man, like it's crazy. But it's just that's the dynamic of corrections. I guess you could say is it's really hard to gauge people until you get some experience up there. Because like you go up there and work like a couple months, you can't really read somebody.
No,
you can't. You have to at least spend 6 months up there before you can start really gauging a person off. Because like you said, they don't want to talk about their charges. And hard, like it's. I can count on both hands how many times people told me about the charges. Maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like flat. That's it.
Well, I can
After
honestly
meeting
say
thousands of people, that's
in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say the majority of the time that I actually talked to people about their charges, and it was only a couple, but when I was on transportation, those long trips down to court, and most of the time they wouldn't talk on the way down. We'd go to court, I would hear, you know, kind of what the judge was saying and all that kind of stuff.
A little bit of stuff.
Yeah, and then after we got back in the van to head back up,
It's the van. That's when it comes down.
Right.
Everybody's gonna start talking.
Exactly. And sometimes it was a couple people, sometimes it wasn't. And if I had to take them to say, you know, almost to the Gulf, that's a long trip. You know, that's a 5-6 hour trip.
There and back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got.
That's all day.
Yeah. We've got nothing but time to sit there and we can either listen to music, because I was that guard. I brought my auxiliary cord with me. I had my phone with me, and I'm like, hey, we got a long trip. What kind of music y'all into? You know, if I got some old white dudes that listen to nothing but country, we gonna listen to some country.
Yeah.
I
like
dig
old
some,
country.
yeah, that's me.
Gold
That's me.
Nose.
Yeah, I can dig some old country, some Willie Nelson and stuff like that. I can dig that, but new country, but.
I was like, one day I had a guy I was taking to court, and I was riding along with one of the transportation guys. The other guy, officer, couldn't make it, so I was riding along. It was like you said, you know, way down south. You're gonna be gone literally all day.
All day, yeah.
So I did the same thing. Grabbed my aux cord and my phone, because you know you gotta have your phone on when you go on transportation.
Right.
And I plugged my stuff in, and I was like, what kind of music do you listen to? And that's what he said. He was an older white guy, and he was like, oh man, I like listening to country. And I was like, well, we're listening to Metallica today. And I put on Sanitarium, and I was like, Sanitarium.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That guy was just like, we're time in the back.
I was just take a nap, bro, because
This ain't stopping.
right.
This is the first one.
That's right.
We got
like
the Black Album. We got Master of Puppets.
We got a whole playlist going.
It's all Metallica.
That's
I
right.
hope you're ready.
Well,
But there were times that I did show kindness. Like there was one instance where another one of those I had to go down south. It's a long ass trip, man. That dude's got a sandwich to eat. I ain't got shit to eat, so
Right.
I've got to grab something on the way.
right.
I'll run because they were one of the places that had a big enough drive-through. You actually get that fast van through.
Exactly.
And I remember leaning back and was like, "Hey, you guys want anything?" And they just kind of like looked at each other and looked at me like, you serious? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you got like 2 minutes. I'm about to be at the window. Do you want something?
Yeah.
I was like, don't get the whole fucking menu. I don't make a lot of money, but I got you on something.
Yeah,
You want something to eat. And they were like, yeah, man. They were like, yeah. So I got them a couple quesadillas, got some to drink, and you know, pulled over, gave them the food and stuff. I ate my food while they ate, and then like, went and got the trash. You know, not supposed to trash in the van.
Right,
Did it legit. You know, I went and got all the trash, threw it away. We got back in the van, and those dudes were just laughing and cutting up with me for the rest of the trip, man.
Well, that's the thing, man.
But they said nobody's ever done that.
That's what I'm saying, and it's not even something that's super big, but to them, it's the world.
It meant the world.
Yeah, it meant the world
It really
because
did.
nobody reaches out like that. And forever and always, as long as you're their guard, you've got their respect.
Instant. Yeah, every day they saw me, like, there was a lot of people that told me a morning, and like that's how you know you got some respect.
Right.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, there's a lot of people in there that are not morning people.
Right.
But if they come by, hey, morning, Sarge, how
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah, you know, just small talk while they're walking by.
Exactly.
But it's like those are the people that you made an impact on.
Mm-hmm.
That you actually.
And they know when they go back, when you get to the facility, whatever happened on this trip
stays
on that trip. It's like, I took care of you. You know, if God forbid,
I respected you, you respect me.
Right. God forbid something ever happens in the dorm you're in. You know, help me help you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Help me help you deal with all of this.
Yeah. And to me, like, I think one of the biggest problems there is that place is just so cutthroat, man. Even where it's on employees.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Oh yeah.
Personally.
For sure.
I'll go ahead and say it. I got diagnosed with PTSD. But I still deal with anxiety and agoraphobia every day from this job. That's every day. I take Zoloft. I have to. Antidepressant medicine, anti-anxiety. It's every day.
And it's all from the prison.
It's all every bit is from the prison. I was fired. The second time I worked there. I worked there on 3 different occasions. The second time I worked there, I was let go because after my lieutenant and captain told me that I could take as much time as I needed to get my medication straight because I was having a problem with my medication. I was having problems. It was causing issues though. It was causing problems between me and my ex-wife. Serious problems. Like I just come home mad, and she was the type of person, she kind of kept most of her thoughts and feelings to herself. She didn't really talk much.
Well, it's hard to
And that's all I want to do is talk about what happened because I have no
You
other
need to
outlet.
vent.
Yeah, I gotta vent and get this stuff off my chest. And
it's the worst thing, bro, bottling that stuff up.
oh god, like you will literally, it'll kill you.
That's why when they tell you stuff like leave it at the door.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, no. There's no way.
No, there's no way you can leave it at the door.
No.
No, there's no way. That's just like any job. Is there any job out there right now, folks, that you do that you can honestly leave that if you had a bad day at the door? No, you're gonna think about that for the rest of the day,
Yeah.
if not the whole week.
And you're gonna go home to your significant other, whoever that may
And
be.
you're gonna vent about
And
it.
you're gonna vent about
And
it.
then you're gonna feel better. Imagine coming home and you can't vent.
Yeah.
And you just have to bottle that up inside.
Yeah.
And then it starts breaking you down. And it got to the point where it's, I developed agoraphobia. Well, I just didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
And agoraphobia is fear of crowds.
Yeah, you're right.
For those of you that
Super
don't.
duper introvert, just like
Yeah,
just
like I'm an introvert, even though I don't consider myself an introvert.
Right.
Because I'm a very social person. I love getting out and meeting people, but working at that facility for so long fucked me up. I'll just go ahead and say it. Like it did, it fucked me up. And it's definitely made a big impact on my life. It has. It's had a very big impact on my life, even after I quit. It's been years.
It shows you, regardless of the bullshit that you had to deal with up there, the bullshit that everybody has to deal with up there,
Right.
or at any prison, whatever the case may be,
Any facility, yeah.
the fact that it taught you a lot about respect in people, not just inmates and guards.
But how to actually respect and cope and get along with another human being. Because there's a lot of people that you'll meet up there that you have very different opinions from.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll argue that opinion to a brick wall. So they'll definitely argue it
Well,
to
they
you.
sit in the dorm and argue that opinion every day.
Yeah. And to be, yes, there are really great people that go up there too.
That's a fact.
That is a fact. I've had a full-blown conversation with a guy that was talking to his mom on the phone, and he didn't have a phone in his hand. It was his cup from chow. He had it to his ear and was like, "Hey, mom, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, man, who you talking to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just talking to my mom." And he showed me the cup, and he's yeah, like
yeah.
you know.
Well,
but it does happen.
yeah.
And
that's the kind of people that the guards need to be made aware of.
those are the ones you get wary of. Those are the ones you gotta really watch out for. Because most of those guys in there, small timers, they're gonna boast and say they don't care. But if you got 4 or 5 years, you really don't want to hurt me, because that just means you're gonna catch more jail time.
That's right.
And you're gonna be in there longer away from your family. If you're 17, like I said, that's the youngest pad I've ever seen up there. Dude, you got your whole life ahead of you. You ain't trying to fuck
You
that
got
up.
you got a lot of people that I've seen come and go personally, and I know you probably have too, that will try to play that crazy card.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just to get a rise out of the guard, or whatever the case may be. They may
Or
be
anybody else. I've
yeah.
seen them do it to other inmates.
Well,
It's
they may
rare,
be
but it
completely
does happen.
100% normal in the dorm. As soon as the guard comes in, all of a sudden they're batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just
Yeah, it's the opposite of a door warrior. A door warrior was a term for somebody who said he would threaten you, be like, I'm gonna kill your whole family, and I'm gonna find out where you live. And
Yeah.
as soon as you open the door, he's
on his bunk, perfect. Just
perfect. Speak, yes sir, no sir. As soon as you close that door, yeah, fuck you, man, I'm gonna kill you, and this and that.
Yeah.
And that's door warrior.
yeah.
There were people too that were the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They were calm, cool, and collective until one of us walked in, and then they just, oh man, fuck this guy. You know?
Yeah.
And that's
I
just
can't
something
tell you
have to
how
deal
many
with.
times, and I'm not a fighter. By no means am I a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I don't like to fight. I don't like to get in conflict or confrontation. But there's been multiple times out on that hallway
Where you're
there's
in that, you have to be in
there's
that.
been people that says, well, if you wasn't wearing that shirt, and I would strip on the hallway, no shirt, just off. Now we didn't have nothing but a stitched on badge. You know what I mean? It was literally
wasn't
just
a
a
real badge.
patch.
Yeah,
it was literally just a patch. And a radio and a key, and some people had pepper spray. But the fact is, this dude's calling you out. Now, I'm not about to go up and hit this man. No.
But
if-
also you call me bitch.
Right, I'm not about to let you down me and try to, I'm a person just like you're a person. I'm going to show you respect if you show me respect.
You show me disrespect, I'm gonna show it right back.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
You get what you give.
don't think just because I've got this job that at the time was barely paying the bills at all, that if it come down to it,
I will throw this shit
yeah,
away.
yeah. I mean, took the shirt off, slid the radio down in the hall, which other deputy was down there, he called the radio, but we're on the same hall, and it's me and two guys, and they're going, well, what if? What if? And I'm like, let's do it. They're like, put your clothes back on, But the
They're
fact,
trying you though. That's
Yeah.
what it's made about. It's all tests.
exactly.
There's very few times somebody's actually gonna want to hurt you and put hands on you, and that's only if you were A, either in the wrong, or B, you were in the right, and they feel like you were in the wrong.
Right.
And that's the only times where it gets
It
true
can
thing.
get physical, and you have to be always prepared to get physical. But just like he was talking about a minute ago with leave it at the door and coming home and handling all that stuff in your head and everything, 90% of corrections, I would say 90% of corrections happily, is mental.
Yeah, it's
Is
all
mental.
it's a fucking mental game. That's literally all
That's
it is. And it's a lot of people don't know this. The actual life expectancy of a CO is 15 years. That is not. Now, folks, bear with me. That is not because of how dangerous the job is. That's because the suicide rate for COs is so high.
Oh, I would imagine.
And I mean, yeah, it is. I'm comfortable talking about it. I've had a lot of issues with it. It's caused a lot of problems. I mean, you've talked about it before.
Yeah.
And it's just led me down a dark path in my life. I'm not gonna lie. And I think
That's
you
one
said-
reason you were destined to get out.
Yeah, that's like it was
Before it drove you
so
to that.
hard. Yeah, it was so hard for me to step away too because I had a family I had to provide for. I was the only income. I didn't know what to do. Basically, my family disowned me.
And around here, that's one of the better, more secure jobs.
And it really, like, if you're not doing oil field, you're working in corrections. But I've also had those instances like where you said, I've had some people call me out like that before. I had, the first time we got Houston up there, Texas guys, all right? They know they can get away with stuff up there. They know they can. And a lot of those guys, they do know they can get away with stuff because you can't really just go in there like what you think and just beat up on somebody. Like,
Well,
you
no.
have to have a reason.
Right.
And then you're only supposed to use the force necessary. And see, I went to school for this correctional officer.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed correctional officer.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore.
You were.
Yeah, I
At
was.
the time.
Yeah, at the time I was. I was licensed. I went to school and got certifications.
Yeah.
All different hand-to-hand certifications, spray certifications. I was handgun
Gun
certified.
safety, yeah.
Gun safety. Shot.
You went through the full.
The only difference between me and a cop is I didn't put in the extra 6 weeks that cops have to.
Where they can arrest people.
Yes, that's what you learned as a cop. Basically, it's like you learn how to be a CO and learn how to deal with people. That's basically all the job is learn how to deal with people. Because it is 90% mentally.
Yeah.
It's only 10% physically. I will agree with that because it's not very often that it gets physical. But when it does get physical, I will
gotta be
say
ready.
it gets physical and it gets physical quick. But I had an instance like that. We had some Houston guys that come up. They were in a dorm. They emptied back in the day. They would empty out all the big dorms, and all our local guys and trustees would be in E&L. And I was the only one that could ever get any respect. out of A and B. So I worked those 2 dorms every fucking night for like 2 years. Because they got sent here first. And then they contracted to us so that way they can start emptying their cells, their prisons out. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have such a big incarceration rate over here that Texas was sending inmates over here.
The biggest state.
That should tell you something, America.
Right.
So I walk in, and it's when I first started having problems. First started to realize that I was having some mental issues going on in this place. And I walked in one day, and I'm going to tell you right now, I was not in the right. I should not have done this, and I wouldn't suggest anybody doing this because I don't even know how the hell I got out of there alive. It was that bad. I walked in, and I was like, all right, count time. And they have to be on the rack, and they have to be quiet during count time. That's the only 2 rules during count time. Don't move and be quiet.
Set up on your rack so I can get a good count.
I don't count blankets. You don't count blankets. You count people.
That's right.
And so I walk in. They're not wanting to be quiet. I can't get my lieutenant sergeant to come down.
Well, you got a bed book that tells you how many people are supposed to be in there and who's assigned to what rack and all that kind of stuff. So you know basically when you go in there, they tell you their name, you count them. Tell you their name, they count them, and you
go down and check them off.
And
it's literally like roll call for school.
Yeah.
And if you're not there and absent, that's a big fucking problem.
You're not allowed to be absent.
Huge problem, yeah. But I finally got my count anyways, and I went to walk out, and like I said, I was dealing with some personal shit at home, and also dealing with everything from this job. I was starting to get really stressed out. And I go to walk out the door, and this guy just yells from the back. I don't know who it is. I have no idea who it is. He just said, if you didn't have that badge on your shirt, I'd fuck you up. And I stopped right when I grabbed the door, and I turned around. This is back when we had button-up shirts, an actual uniform.
Right.
I'll take my uniform top off, I set it to the side. Take my hat off, I'll throw it down. Take my radio, and I threw that bitch against the wall. I broke it. I actually got in a lot of trouble. I had to pay for the radio. It was like $200.
That sucks.
But I hit my snap point. I hit my breaking point.
Yeah.
And I said, whoever wants it, come and get it.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And they're like, they don't know what to do then because you tried them back. You push. But I mean, it's like we were talking about with the bullying thing. You can only hit a dog so much with a stick before he's going to start biting you.
Right.
And you can only provoke a bear. You can only poke a bear.
Poke until eventually you're going to get got. Yeah.
And that was one of the first times that.
How many years have you been up there at that time?
4 at that time.
That's a long ass time.
It's a long ass time to be dealing with some stress.
Yeah.
And any correctional officer, I don't care who it is, who they are, they will tell you that is a stressful freaking job.
Oh, all day long.
Anxiety, stress to the max. It don't matter if it's a good day or bad day, it's bad.
Well, I got it broke down to me like this when I first got up there. I'd been up there about 3 or 4 months, and I got thinking about it, even as a CO, when you walk through the front doors, they lock it behind you. When you walk through any door in there, it's locked behind you. Okay, so basically, you worked up there 8-9 years.
8.5.
4.5 of that, you were incarcerated.
Yep.
I mean,
because you work 12 hours a day.
Yeah, you work 12 hours a day. So 4.5 of that 9 years, you were in prison.
Yeah. And then see, that's and it's kind of like I hit some guys with the Rorschach thing, and I'd be like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Yeah. But I mean, that's
it's the truth. Yeah.
I got the key, buddy.
Yeah. So like, you got to deal with me whether you want to or not.
Right.
I'm the guy that lets you in.
Yeah. Yeah. When my 12's over,
I'm going home.
I'm going to the house. And the shit you did to me today, I'll be back tomorrow.
And I ain't gonna forget.
Yeah. I'm not gonna forget.
Guess what? I ain't leaving that door. It's coming back.
That's it.
And I'm gonna remember.
If nothing else, I'll leave it in the dorm so I can pick it back up when I get back.
I've done that. I've literally been bitching the dorm until I left.
Yeah.
And like my relief is tapping me on the shoulder because I'm still chewing ass.
Yeah.
I'll leave and come back the next day, grab the key and radio from it, and I'm right back in there chewing ass again.
That's it. Picking up right where you left off.
But that's what happens when you show me disrespect. If you're not going to respect me enough to let me do my job, now you're messing with my money.
Well, when it gets to a point to where, like, you've been up there years at the time, you don't see every trick in the book, and
Everybody
people know you. And the couple that you've gained the respect of, and they gain the respect of you, they see these new cats come in, and like you said, when you walk in,
they try to warn them.
Well,
they do.
They do.
I'll honestly say that because the guys from Houston, we had a couple guys in there. They'd been there for about a year or so. They were serving a longer sentence.
Right.
They were there for a while.
Right.
And I've witnessed them telling them because the inmate would come up to me and try to start messing with me in the dorm, and the dude would come up and be like, "Hey, dude, stop what we're doing."
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to stop.
That's it.
Yeah, because like.
Well, you've been up
And
there.
then it's completely gears. It's like he swapped gears. Then he's nicely respecting me, and I'm respecting him back. I walk in there. There are 6 huge guys. I mean, they are towering over me. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared shitless because they are in front of the back door, which I have to go check as soon as I get there to make sure the thing is locked.
That's where they hung out at.
They don't move. They stand right there in the way. And I just kind of look at them. I don't say nothing. And they're like, "Oh, you get by, Sergeant?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need to check that back door." They're like, "What if we don't want to move?" And I start unbuttoning my shirt, and the guy goes, "Man, quit all of that, dude. Go check that back."
Yeah.
It was just, it's a game.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's
They
like
just see, they see your limits.
Yeah,
You know
they're
what I mean?
trying to push your buttons. They're trying to see how much you can take. And I hopefully, a lot of the guys from up there that I guarded over would agree that I was probably one of the most respectful guards up there.
Right.
You know, besides you and there was a couple that were really respectful, but we were also the same kind of cats. Like, dude, if you push my buttons, I'm gonna break just like everybody else.
Well, yeah.
I can only take so much.
If you were in my position, and that was my card I always played. What if the roles were reversed?
Yep. What if I was being the asshole?
Right. What if I was in here and you were having to come, watch over these 100 men, and every single day you got somebody trying to buck, somebody trying to push your buttons and see what they can get over. Yeah, just trying you every single day. Eventually, you're gonna snap. Now, it may not be on the guy that's been pushing your buttons, but it may be on somebody down the hallway because you finally got enough.
For me, talking about having all the issues with it and everything it's caused in my life, much like Nooch, I would love to get Matt. I'd love to get you on here one day talking about this because like he did it for a long time too.
Sure. It's good to talk about because we've talked about this for years.
Let's get off your chest.
Yeah.
It's basically like free therapy.
Right.
And see, like me and Matt, that's what I found that helped us both out the most, I guess you say, because he started getting a lot of issues with it too. That we were just talking about.
Well, he's been up there fresh out of high school too.
He was fresh out of high school, just like me. I kind of felt bad, honestly, whenever he first started working there, because I was the one that was telling me to go work up there. But Matt was also one of those people that like he got a lot of respect. A lot of people talked about him up there, but he was a true blue CEO. You know, he'd tell you how it was.
Well, it got to a point to where you can only be like the first couple months you get fucked with, you get fucked with, you get fucked with. Eventually, you just become hard to the bullshit.
Yeah, you just don't even care.
Yeah, you're like
it's
whatever.
It's like one ear and right out the other.
Well, that's all they've got time to do. You said that earlier in the podcast. That's all they've got time to do is figure out ways to fuck with you.
Yeah, push your buttons.
Just
I mean, that's literally like it's like okay. Put yourself in their shoes, folks. You know, it's just like you said, role reverse. Imagine if you getting you're just locked up all day. You ain't got nothing else better to do, but you got this guy that comes in there and you have to do what he says. Why not fuck with that guy?
Right.
Let's try to piss him off. Let's try to make his job hard.
Yeah.
There are, like I said, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that do that outside of prison and have a real job. I'm not saying prison's not a real job, but
right. Just
just like
trying to get a rise out of somebody.
Yeah, man. Like I've gotten into. I can't stand people like that. They just kind of like they go out of their way.
Their whole demeanor is trying to get a rise out of somebody else.
Yeah, just trying to get just to cause problems. Just because it's like, okay, man, I understand you're not happy with your life, but that means you got to crap on mine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But like it happens. There's people like that all throughout the world. I wouldn't necessarily call them evil, and the only reason I say I can't stand those people is because I've been that person.
Yeah.
Like when I worked there at the prison, I was miserable. I wanted everybody else around me to be miserable.
Right.
And
Not at first.
Not at first, but then I started realizing what was happening. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I have to make a change. And the only way for me to make a change at the time, apparently, was to get fired.
Well, it's one of those deals, you go in there and, you can earn respect, and there's some that demand respect. And over time, you get used to the situation you're in. You get used to the place. You're getting comfortable. You're getting more laid back. You're trying to help and trying to better these folks. And you still got people pushing your buttons. And eventually, it gets to where you're too not too nice, but you're just people feel like they can run you over.
Yeah.
Because you're laid back.
Yeah.
You've been there a minute. You've done your time. You've learned your ins and outs of what you can and can't do. And
I would like to feel like a lot of the guys up there would probably classify me as a laid-back sergeant because or CO. Everybody up there is sergeant, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a sergeant; it's just everybody's sergeant. It don't matter if you're a CO, deputy, lieutenant, sergeant, warden.
Yeah, they all call you sergeant.
Everybody calls you sergeant. And to me, it's more or less like a lot of these guys that go in there, and most of the times the ones that are messing with you, the people that don't know how to do time.
Right.
So the only way that they can figure out that they figure they can do time is to just be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because that's all they know.
Unless the only way I can see around that is if at first they are cutting up and being an asshole and just trying to cause problems and all that, and like you said, if an old school cat that's done time, that's been doing time, comes and he's like, hey man, if you're not making your Joe City easier,
Yeah.
by causing shit.
Yeah. All you're doing is just bringing it down on us.
Exactly, bringing it down to the whole.
And it's not us versus us. 'Cause that's the first thing they'll say. It's us versus them.
Right.
You know, and it's
Right.
the same thing we learn. It's
Yeah.
not us and them. It's us versus them.
Right. We're good, they're bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
We still have a job to do, and I understand that.
And it kind of comes with the territory. You know, it's like the number one thing is obviously a lot of people come in there and young, old, man, woman. I used to have to train everybody that come on our shift.
Right.
Whether they be male or female, because I knew how to do all the ins and outs. I knew how to
Right.
do all the paperwork.
You could work central if you needed to. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a place on that facility besides commissary I didn't know how to run.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Hey, don't
Well, after
I didn't have
almost
to
a
worry about
decade-
commissary. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Like I said, if you're getting almost 10, you bounced around a lot.
Yeah. Well,
I'd work a drop for about a year or two at the most, and then I'd go to a new drop.
It's smart for you to have been there that long and learned all the ins and outs.
Oh yeah, I knew everything worked. Man.
Yeah.
Everything, and it was crazy. But it takes a special kind of person also to work in corrections, and I feel like I got to where I could peg somebody if they're going to be able to make it or not.
Oh, for sure.
And
sure.
it's just because you can tell by their mentality. And there's just like, I remember telling a cat, because like he was just being overly aggressive, and I can't remember the dude's name. And he's actually, like I said, he's probably a really nice guy. He just let it go to his head.
Yeah.
Because that's 90% what the deal is. I told my lieutenant the 6th day, I was like, yeah, this cat can do this.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
aggressive.
yeah. Well, too aggressive, and you got some that are young, you know, because there's a lot of them COs that come up there that
And
are
they
fresh
try
out
to
of high
make a
school.
name for themselves.
And it's, to an extent, you've got to. You've got to set ground rules. Being that young, or even being new as a CO, you've got to set ground rules. You basically got to go in there and let them know, you know, you're here to do a job, and they got to understand that. You're not here to cause any problems, but you're not here to take any problems either.
Right. Like it's like you're not gonna cause any grief, but if that's all you're gonna give me, then eventually I'm gonna have to dish out what you get. You know,
Well,
or
I
you
mean,
get what you give.
There's rank for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't, not saying you can't handle your dorm because you're a deputy or whatever the case may be, whatever your rank is, not that you can't handle it, but if it gets too aggressive or to a point to where you're like, hey, there's a bunch of these guys that are being aggressive and trying to push my buttons and everything, I've got a team too. You know what I mean? It's 100 of you, yeah, and y'all outnumber us by the hundreds, but the fact is, if I need backup, they're one phone call away, or one radio call away.
Yeah, because usually what you would hear when you walk in the dorm, you're by yourself. But if let's say you're rolling in with the goon squad, you'd hear in here.
Yep, every time.
And then as soon as like 3 or 4 more deputies going through the door, in here, deep.
Yeah.
you hear it change real quick in their voice.
Yeah.
And they know
They're
you're coming. They know you're coming in there to do something. They're not dumb.
Yep.
They done seen it all just like you done seen it all.
Well,
And I felt like that's where like a lot of guys would try to joke on me, and I'd just laugh or just start smiling at them, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you got that, sorry."
yeah, well,
Like I said, if you've done it for so long, you've seen every trick in the book. I'm like, yeah, there's some new ones that I saw after years. Yeah, I'm like, damn, I've never seen that. Good job, you know.
Yeah,
And
right,
I can't
right.
help but congratulate him, you know. But like, a lot of the guys, that's how they pass the time.
yeah,
I mean, they got nothing else better to do. You know, I mean, like, not everybody likes reading books
no,
and watching TV,
Playing cards.
or playing cards, God, or chess.
yeah.
And
Well, you got a lot of them cats in there that, like you said, you know, when you come into the dorm, they yell, they're in here, or they're coming in deep, or whatever the case may be. And when it comes to corrections, it's very repetitive. It's very repetitive. You do the same stuff every day, like clockwork. You get there, you do your bed books, you do your counts, you do your chows, you do, you know, very repetitious.
repetitive as the fun.
Right, and to an extent, it does get boring, but
Oh, it gets old fast.
yeah, it gets very old fast, and it gets.
I was already tired of the job after being there for like a year.
Yeah,
But like, it's and see, that's what sucks is because the one thing I have experience in, I can't even do anymore.
right.
I'm not allowed to be a correctional officer anymore because of the symptoms I got diagnosed with.
Yeah.
And this is something I was going to touch on real quick, just because it got brought up and never finished telling the story. But I got fired the second time for working up there because a parent develop problems for being a correctional officer. Yeah, I've had.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean,
but no, like that was boldface. Like
the doctor told you that?
No. The boss told me that.
The boss.
Work.
Oh.
He said you can't develop PTSD from working here.
Yeah. Okay.
Bruh.
Yeah.
My lieutenant told me he takes like Xanax, Zoloft, and something else every day. Don't sit there and lie to me.
I look at it like this, like you said a minute ago. If nothing else ever happened in your whole time up there, going, you say you're at war. You and your buddy, gunfire. All of a sudden, beside your head, your buddy standing there, boom, his head just blew off. You saw one person die the whole time you're at war. You get PTSD.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just said a minute ago that you had to pull a guy out of the dorm.
Rick Morris said he was stiff.
Right.
Like when I brought him out of bed, he was literally a boulder.
Yeah. And there was a guy in the lockdown cell that almost killed himself with you 2 feet away. Or not even that.
Not even that. It was literally just glass separating.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell me that you can't develop some kind of
issues,
mental issues or something.
And see, that was the big killer for me. And that should have been what taught me not to go back that third time. But I went back because, folks, it was convenient. I knew this place I can go and get a job at because I've got almost 10 years of experience doing it. I'm not one of those people that like the first time I met the lieutenant that I actually liked a lot. I liked all my lieutenants, but I favored the last one a lot because he was really down to earth and cool. First day on the job, he was like, "Somebody talk to you for a minute." And I was like, "All right." So we bullshit for a minute down in the office, and he was like, "What don't you know how to do here?" And I said, "Well, I can do your job."
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been acting, lieutenant. I've been acting sergeant.
Yeah.
I've did all this.
Right. There's
Hundreds
nothing
of
in this
times
prison that I haven't done.
And I promise you, it ain't changed that much. And I know that."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, man, go ahead and get Keen Radio." I didn't even do OJT the third time I worked there. Second time there, I was there one day.
Of OJT.
OJT.
Yeah.
This is the second time I worked there. After the second day, my lieutenant told me at the time, that lieutenant, which he was really cool too, he told me, he was like, "Hey, man, go ahead and get Keen Radio." He was like, "You off OJT."
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like I said, you get to where you can read people by doing that, and you can tell who's actually can do this job and who can't.
Right. Some people's mental stability isn't strong enough to withstand
to handle it. Yeah.
the bullshit that comes
it's
out
all
of
it's all mental at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I had a very good friend of mine who he worked up there for a bit, and we actually became friends from working together. And it was crazy because he was the one guy that actually had a good mentality to work there, but when it became like chow time, we called it traffic when anybody was moving or on the hall.
He frees up.
No, he would put gloves on and just be like,
just ready.
Yeah, looking for it. And I'd tell him, be like, "Man, look, you've got to break that habit.
Yeah.
People are going to start realizing what you're doing that are in here, and they're going to start using that against you. They know you're looking for trouble."
Yeah. You don't give them, the inmates, I would say, you don't give them any more ammo than they have. Right.
Yeah.
That's why you don't go in the dorms. You don't, like, I got close to a couple of the inmates in there, just bullshitting with them back and forth, especially on the long trips.
Build like camaraderie and stuff. Yeah.
Right. But when it gets to a point to where they're close, now you can't give them too much because some of them they only become your friend. They only try to get close to get ammo. They learn about your life. They learn about your family. They learn about this, and now now they turn around and use it against you. And that's why you've got to be very, very sketchy. Just like he was talking about with the guy with the gloves. You know, they see that you're sitting on edge. They see you're just itching for something to pop off. You know,
they know what a lawsuit is. They know how to file one.
Oh, for sure.
They're not dumb.
Yeah.
They know if they can convince him to hit one of them first, that's a lawsuit.
Right.
And I mean, like, you're had at that point. There ain't nothing you can do. I can honestly say I never hit anybody up there who didn't deserve it.
Right.
I can honestly say that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people that can't say that they don't work with.
Well,
that's just God's honest truth.
Well, it comes down to it. There's a lot of COs that, like we talked about before, has the big head, that has the power trip, and I'm the CO. You're the inmate. You are going to, and I understand. And at the end of the day, you are going to listen to me. You know what I mean?
Have to.
It's my job to make sure you're doing what you Yeah.
and doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. Just simple stuff like running them to chow. You know, they
Chow!
got lines on this side of the hallway, lines on this side of the hallway. This is for traffic going back to the dorm. This is for traffic going to chow. Okay, and you let them out of the dorm. You're doing counts, so you can see how many's going to chow. So they
Call
write
it in.
books, call it in, and all that.
It's really the same thing every day. It's easy. And honestly, like the actual work aspect of it, when you leave out all the stress and the mental aspect of it, it's easy work.
Yeah, it is.
It's stupid easy.
It is. It's
You're
very
turning
repetitious.
keys. Yeah, all you're doing is just turning keys and counting.
Yep.
I remember the guy that trained me, he told me, and he was like, I'm not lying about this. He's like, it's God's honest truth, more than asking. He said, because he'd never done corrections at the time. But now when he trained me, he'd been doing it for like 5-6 years.
Right.
But he said when he first got up there and the board was like, you know, what made you think about doing this job? And he was like, well, it's just a job. I need a job. I need to make some money. Yeah.
Right.
And he was like, well, what skills do you have where you can do this job? And he's like, well, I can count. He said, can you count to 100? And he said, not past it. He said, well, that's good enough for me.
Yep.
Literally, you just gotta be able to count to 100. That's it. It's that easy.
Well, a lot of that is you know, dealing with inmates like that and learning the ins and outs of corrections as a whole, not as an inmate, but not as the guard, just basically having no rank or no nothing, just being an average Joe off the street and walking through there, get a whole 100% different feel than actually being a CO and going in there.
Most of the time, folks, like when somebody would going to be hired on up there, and this has literally happened like over 20 times. They come up there and they talk to the warden. They fill out all the appropriate paperwork because you're going to do a walkthrough before you even start the job.
Right.
To see if you can handle it. And like, we don't take them in the dorms. We just take them in the control room so they can see in there what it's like.
Yeah.
And you know, they'll get to see what the interactions and stuff is like. About 20 cases I've had that happen where like they'll walk in there and they don't come back because they know right then I can't do this.
Yeah, I can't go in there. Well, you've got people that have that stern mentality. They're like,
I can do this.
I can control, you know, I'm not riot control, but I can control this situation.
Yeah, I can keep the chaos in check. Yeah,
right,
it won't be that hard. And then when you actually see the chaos firsthand, you're just like, holy crap, this is not what I was expecting.
Well, I can't even say that because, like, the first time I saw a dorm book, like, I'd been in the dorm probably 4 or 5 months at this time, so I done got used to it. Going there, do my bed books, you know. I knew these cats. They knew when I come in that all I wanted to do was get my shit and get back out there. You know, I wasn't.
Do your job, go.
Yeah,
you ain't
do my
trying to
job.
do nothing extra.
Exactly. I'm not trying to rile nobody up or, you know.
Make anybody else's life more miserable.
Exactly. Y'all are in jail.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
You're already miserable enough.
Exactly. So, go in there and do that, and then you see these cats that know you by that point, and
oh yeah, they know you quick.
Yeah.
They learn you quick.
And then when it wasn't really a riot, it was like probably 20 or 30 guys that was in a big scrap. I mean, small, what I call small riot, or just a big group fight.
Big fight, yeah.
Yeah, big fight.
Big
And
fight.
when we went in there to bust all that up, that was the first time that I ever actually had to go in, and that's
Deal
when
with
I heard.
conflict.
That's when I heard the term door warrior.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard because it was me and a couple other cats that ran in there, and he was the first one on the scene. He ran in there, he jumped on a guy, the 2 guys that was main fighting. He jumped on them, and then we went in and just started tackling people.
That's literally what it is. You just jump down, put them in handcuffs, fight's done.
That's it.
You can't
By
get
the
up.
time we got the main handful of people that was doing the majority of the fighting, because it was just a big group of them.
Yeah.
We got the main couple that was fighting, got them out of the hall. Everybody else just kind of,
Yeah, it disperses in.
well, and like
That's mainly what you want to go for too. Is when you're doing that line of work, you want to go for the main ones, the main conspirators, if you want to put it that way, or the guys that started it. Is because that's where the problem is, anyways. Is with those guys. Those other guys that were in there fighting were doing it because their boy was in the fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And like we said before, that's family, and you're gonna stick up for family, regardless whether you're in the wrong or not. You know
Right.
you're gonna stick up for family, and that's all they are. And there is a big family.
And that works in 2 different aspects. You've got, you know, they, like you said, their family, and if my boy's fighting, then I got his back, and so on and so forth. And you take the guys that are fighting and you put them in a new dorm, and then they link up with some more people. Now you've got this group and this group that are together, and they're 2 separate dorms. And you keep switching people out of dorms like that, and it gets to a point to where everybody has friends in every dorm.
Very fast.
Yeah,
it
very,
works.
very fast it happens like that. And if a guy down at the very end dorm gets in a fight and ends up having to get moved out and moved to another dorm, when he goes in there,
He gets jumped when he goes in there.
right, he may end up, all it takes is, they go to church, okay? They go to church every night at like 8 o'clock, okay? They go to church. The cat's out of this dorm, they get a handful of each dorm to go to church every night.
And that's where that's business deal.
Yeah, that's where the business happens.
gets sold.
Yeah, so this handful comes to church, this handful comes to church.
And we're not saying that not everybody that goes to church isn't actually going to church.
No,
Because there's a lot of guys that do go to church and they actually are looking for that religious reform.
Right.
But I would say about a good 80% of the guys that go to church are there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they're there to either A, pass contraband, B, pass a message to such and such that such and such is in his dorm and he needs to be taken care of because he stole from Joe Blow down the way.
He owes him still and he wants his pay, you know.
Right, anything. I mean, I was working church one night, and this is a two-part story, but I was working church one night, and I see two guys toward the front. You know, we had, I think it was A, B, C, and D on one side,
Yeah.
and then E, D, or whatever, half and half, basically. Yeah. Okay, so I see some guys toward the front, and they're chit-chatting amongst themselves. You know, I try to keep the quiet down when the preacher's preaching and all that kind of stuff, and they're chit-chatting. I'm like, okay, so I go up to the front to do that, messing with them, whatever, try to get them to quiet down. All of a sudden I hear some people in the back on this side talking. So I'm like, oh shit. So I go back there, and I see him slide something under the chair. And I'm like, what's that? And he goes, what do you mean? And he stands up. As soon as he stands up, I move the chair out of the way and I don't see nothing. So I'm like, okay, sit back. I'm sitting in the back of the room. They're all facing this way. I'm standing behind the chairs. And all of a sudden I hear, bam, behind me against the wall. I turn around, and there's a shank. And it's probably 6 to 8 inches long. I mean, it's got a probably 4-inch handle for its blade.
Yeah.
But it's like 6 to 8 inches long, and it's laying on the floor behind me. They just took it.
Tossed it.
Yeah, tossed it behind. I'm not getting caught with it. Because, you know, we search them before they go in. We search them when they come out. You know, and...
They thought we were being slick and could get away with it, and you'd already pegged him and
Right.
made him nervous, so
Exactly.
he decided to toss it.
Exactly. And I was like, well, that's the deal. And then not long after that, maybe the next night or so, this dude comes at me, and I was being very cautious at this point. Dude comes at me, he's like, hey man, Sarge, my stomach's really hurt. They ain't been in church 10, 15 minutes. He's like, my stomach's really hurting, I gotta go back to the dorm. And 99% of the time, I'm like, nah, dude, you're in church.
Yeah.
You know, it's only an hour long, you can hold it till then. He goes, I can't, Sarge, can I please just use the bathroom? I was like, look, I got another deputy to go down there and take you down to, he was in G dorm. Take him down to G dorm, they had all the buckets and everything for cleaning the dorm, set out in the hallway. Yeah. And I said, go stand by the door, I'll get somebody to come watch church, and I'll come down there and let you in. He goes, okay. So he goes down there and he stands beside the door. By the time I made it down to C Hall, he had done squatted over into the bucket and was taking a big old shit into the bucket. He said, I'm sorry, Sarge, I'm sorry. And I was like,
and see, a lot of people may think that that's unfair, but a lot of times, guys, that's the game.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man, I gotta go back to the dorm. I don't feel so good. I think I gotta use the bathroom.
They use that all the time.
You just let that man go back in the dorm, and you didn't shake him down.
Yeah, with whatever he got.
Whatever
out of
he just got from church, he just went right back in the dorm.
Right.
And it's that fast.
Yeah, they use that all the time.
All the time. That's like the number one excuse.
Right.
Oh.
Because most guards that are lazy and don't search them when they go back to the dorm, it's just like, yeah, man.
They know.
I don't want you shitting on the hall, so go. And they end up getting in, whether it be shanks or drugs or whatever the case may be.
I ain't be anything.
Yeah.
You know?
And I went down there and I seen that cat sit on the bucket, and he's apologized. I was like, man, I just turned my back to him. I was standing in the fort, in the little hallway where the lockdown cells were, and I went to go walk back down to the Lou's office, and he was like, he goes, nope, you can't leave him down in the hallway, gotta stand down. So I had to stand by that cat while he just bowed up, and
I had to go in one day. It's funny, you got a shit story. I've got one too. Although it wasn't like that bad, I guess you could say.
Well,
at least this guy was on the toilet. But
Yeah.
we were going in one day to do a shakedown. This was I just got my key radio. This is the second time I worked there.
yeah.
The first time I worked there, I'd say I worked there for maybe 3 years, and then the second time I worked there was 4 years. And this last time I worked there, it was almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And this last time I worked there was just a couple months.
Right.
Like I said, that was just a mistake. I knew that.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you did though,
yeah.
because that made my job a little bit
Oh
fun.
yeah, it's always fun when you got a buddy you can work with.
Right. Especially on the same shift.
Yeah, hey, we get jokes then.
Yeah, right.
It's not just them, we're jokes.
Yeah. And I saw how much respect you had even after
so long of a
being
time.
gone.
Yeah, so long of a time. That's what blew my mind the most is being gone that long and still coming back. It's being like,
When you walk in the door,
hey man, I see you. Yeah, how you been, dude?
I heard it when they walked through the door. They're like, oh, like, well, obviously,
I'm not talking
Please
crap.
hold.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm legendary up there, but there's a good bit of people that know me up there.
right.
But it's for the right reasons. Like I said, it's like I wasn't an asshole. I always I didn't demand respect. I give you a chance to give me respect. If you don't want to respect me, well, I'm not going to respect you if you don't respect me.
Yeah, that's just human nature.
That's
man.
just common courtesy.
Right.
You know, that's just like you'll be rude to me, I'm gonna be rude right back.
Right.
There's nothing.
Don't make my job hard.
There's
and I'll
nothing in
make
the
your life
chivalrous
hard.
book that says I have to be nice to you if you're being a dick to me.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And I consider myself a gentleman, so you know, if you show me respect, I'm gonna show it right back.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, second time I worked there, second day on the job. Like I said, Lieutenant already gave me the key and radio. He's like, yeah, man, you don't need to get much. Just go ahead and do your thing.
Right.
He's like, I trust you. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sign off on my paperwork and all that. Got the key and radio. Boom, I'm back like a normal. I'm doing yard, all that crap.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. I'm by myself completely.
Right.
And like I said, it's nothing new because I've already done it for so long. And I get a call on the radio. They're like, hey, this is Central real quick. I'm like, all right, cool. And at the time I was over B-door. And so I walk in, contraband in the door. They know it's in there. Somebody didn't call it, so we have to go in and try to get it out.
Right.
All right. So they found out real quick on that shift. They were like, damn, he is about that life.
Yeah.
So we go walk in the door, and the plan was you always have a plan when you go in. And the plan for me was I was the guy that went to the toilets because that's where they go and get rid of stuff. It's
Right.
the only place where they can safely get rid of it, and there's no way we can get it back because it's in the plumbing.
Right.
I'm not going to go dig around the crab tank trying to find a phone.
Right.
Screw that. Completely screw that. Like, there's no way. I don't get paid enough to do that.
40 seconds.
Yeah. Like, 40 seconds? Oh, God. So anyways, I had to tackle this guy, and while I had the guy tackled, there's a guy that's right beside me shitting. And the guy was trying to throw away a shank and, like, some drugs and a cell phone.
Yeah.
So I take the guy down, and I'm wrestling with him. This other cat's over there. He just literally picks up his feet and turns to the side and sets his feet back down. Like, he didn't see nothing. And he's just taking his crap.
Anyway, guys, as amazing as it is, we're about to have to get off here. Time's running a little short, but this has been
You can call it.
And the Blowfish. We'll be back with you shortly with more content. Vote VOTS, take it easy.